Hi guys, Travis Cook here of Learning How to Think. So we had Boris speak to Parliament today and announced that there's going to be new restrictions. Some of them, or he's saying that it may even last 6 months. So it seems like the agenda is to keep everybody locked down in some way, shape or form until there's a vaccine. Sponsored by Bill Gates, I'm sure. We had the two vaccine salesmen yesterday, Patrick Valiance and Chris Whitty, prepping the masses for the sales pitch for Boris's speech today. And at 8 p.m. tonight, he's going to address the nation, and I'm guessing just repeat what he said to Parliament today. As you can imagine, there are a lot of fucking angry people about this. I mean, it's actually quite sad. I'm reading in the comments, people who have an events business who basically after that news, they're like, that's it, that's gone. Two separate people, and I just, had a quick scroll through, and they're like, yeah, that's my events business gone. And these measures do not reflect the danger of COVID-19. No doubt it's a natural virus, and no doubt it can be deadly for certain people, just like the flu is. But there's more people dying of the flu at the moment, but you don't see us going crazy over that. So why is there's so much focus on just this particular virus? Well, I think it's become highly politicized, and there's a lot of money involved and control. And when you look at the people who are going to make a lot of money out of vaccines, and you look at the people who have this agenda to control humanity, this is a beautiful way for them to do it. So we have all of this coming out, but there's thankfully, when I was watching the PMQs, there are people, politicians, speaking sense. Not the Prime Minister, unfortunately, on this issue. And I think Boris is great on some things, like Brexit. But for this, I don't know what the fuck's going on. But essentially, I think a big error was when Parliament voted to give emergency powers to a certain section of the government to enact these COVID laws. Which now they're starting to realise, because that came up a couple of times when I was watching the PMQs. They're like, okay, yeah, so we should now maybe go back to the way it used to be where we have a debate on these things before the law is passed. So yeah, there was people bringing that up, like, yeah, maybe we should actually talk about these things as we used to before we pass all these laws, because and there was someone saying, Boris, why are you only listening to these certain specific, scientific advisors? Why are you not listening to the economists as well and stuff like that? Because this crashing of the economy is going to affect millions of people's health. So is this really about the health of the nation? No. It's really not. I mean, I can understand that, they have to be seen to be doing something, but actually I think it would be better if they didn't do anything. If they just stopped fucking with people. But, see, there's an agenda afoot. There are certain people that have been corrupted and bribed and blackmailed. I think Chris Whitty and Patrick Valiance are two of those people. I don't know which thing has got them, but something has them. And, yeah, so it's quite sad because a lot of people are going to continue to go through hard times through this. Personally, it doesn't, my life is in such a way that but anyone who has a business, I really do feel for them. It's really, I feel sadness in my heart for these people, and I'm reading the comments. And I don't know, maybe we do have to go through this as a nation to somehow come out of it at the end of the better, but it does feel like we are being pushed to the absolute limit. So I don't know how many people can continue doing this, and I mean, I haven't complied in every way that I possibly could, and I encourage everybody else to do the same. But it's hard for business owners because they get they get targeted, and then I feel for you guys, I really do. However, there is still this big protest happening at the weekend, and there are still a huge amount of people that are mounting a resistance to this. And think about how many people, since this has started, have actually woken up in the UK. I think a lot of people have woken up to this. And if you remember, in a couple of videos back, I shoot an open letter from the Belgian medical authorities to, the Belgian government, the Belgian people, talking about the ridiculousness of all of this and really calling it all out. But now we have our own version here in the UK. So we have, 32 different professors and scientists and all of that. And it's quite a short little letter. So I'll just read it out to you guys because it's quite good. So, Dear Prime Minister, Chancellor, CMOs and Chief Scientific Advisor, We are writing with the intention of providing constructive input into the choices with respect to the COVID-19 policy response. We also have several concerns regarding aspects of the existing policy choices that we wish to draw attention to. In summary, our view is that the existing policy path is inconsistent with the known risk profile of COVID-19 and should be reconsidered. The unstated objective currently appears to be one of suppression of the virus until such a time that a vaccine can be deployed. This objective is increasingly unfeasible, notwithstanding our more specific concerns regarding existing policies, and is leading to significant harm across all age groups, which likely offsets any benefits. Instead, more targeted measures that protect the most vulnerable from COVID, whilst not adversely impacting those not at risk, are more supportable. Given the high proportion of COVID deaths in care homes, these should be a priority. Such targeted measures should be explored as a matter of urgency, as the logical cornerstone of our future strategy. In addition to this overarching point, we append a set of concerns regarding the existing policy choices, which we hope will be received in the spirit with which they are intended. We are mindful that the current circumstances are challenging, and that all policy decisions are difficult ones. Moreover, many people have sadly lost loved ones to COVID-19 throughout the UK. Nonetheless, the current debate appears unhelpfully polarised around views that COVID is extremely deadly to all, and that large-scale policy interventions are effective, and on the other hand, those who believe COVID poses no risk at all. In light of this, and in order to make those choices that increase our prospects of achieving better outcomes in the future, we think now is the right time to step back and fundamentally reconsider the path forward. Yours sincerely, and then it has all the authors, and you've got people like Professor Sunitra Gupta, Professor of Theoretical Epidemiology in the University of Oxford, Professor Carl Hennigan, Director, Centre for Evidence-Based Medicine, the University of Oxford, and it goes on and on and on. So then you got signatories, and these are all, they look like, smart, intelligent people within the medical community, and they're like, what the fuck are you doing? These measures do not justify it. The virus does not justify destroying the entire economy over this. But when you look at the global reset that's trying to be rolled out, and you see the globalists pulling the strings, then it makes a lot more fucking sense. So I really, really hope people wake up fast enough to be able to combat this attack on our nation. I'm still optimistic, but it is getting serious, folks. It's getting very real. And of course, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors, and this could just be to keep everybody tied up because there's other stuff going on. But I think it's very important we focus on this just to fight against it, resist it. I mean, this protest happening on the Saturday is going to be landmark. I wonder how it's going to go, because there's even threats of the army, but I don't think they'll get away with that, because like I mentioned before, a lot of MPs are starting to realise what a bad idea it was to give the certain part of the government these emergency powers, because they're now just going overboard. So I don't think they're going to take it much longer. And I mean, I never used to have faith in any government at all, but now when I'm actually watching them, and I watch the PMQs, there are genuine people amongst it all. Of course, there's the swamp creatures immersed in it all, and then there are stupid people, etc. But seems to be genuine people, like one of the backbenchers of the Tories was saying about how, the young people are only young once, and there are old people that can't spend the last of their lives and all this sort of stuff, seeing their family. So there are some genuine people trying to make this, trying to make positive change. So I'm backing these people. I don't think the emergency COVID powers are going to be around for much longer now, especially after this. I think anybody who is not a part of this agenda right now, and the people that are such a tiny percentage of the population. Anybody who's not a part of it right now is going to be against this. Unless, I have to say, there are still some sheeple though. When I look at the comments, there are still people that believe in this and support the government locking them down. But it's so funny, right? They're like, oh, you don't wear a mask, you're selfish. Oh, you didn't lock down, you're selfish. But then they don't even consider the business owners, the people whose livelihoods are being destroyed, financial ruin. That is fucking serious. That is really, really serious. I'd rather, if I had a business, I would rather catch the fucking flu, my entire family catch the fucking flu and deal with it for 2 to 3 weeks at the most, depending on how healthy they are. They might not even fucking have any symptoms because the flu isn't COVID. So I'd rather them actually all catch COVID. Most of them won't have symptoms. Maybe the old people might be a bit bad, and if someone's nearly dead, they might die. They were going to die anyway, so no problem, hey? But I'd rather that than have my business get destroyed, because that is how you provide for your family. That's how you provide for yourself. That is how you contribute to this world. And if any of you have a business and it's impacted by this, my heart really does go out to you. I really do. I feel for you. But we have to, well, I find times like these, faith is so important. Have faith in the plan. Have faith in God. Not to be complacent and just sit back and do nothing, because we really, really, really need to take action. And that is, it's different for everybody, but even if it's just as little as not wearing the fucking mask or talking to people about these things, yeah, we all need to do our part, because but I still think ultimately this will lead to a more awakened population, and it already has. I don't know how exactly this is going to come to an end, though. That's the interesting thing. I'm quite curious as to how this is going to finish. I can't see it. I can't see this plan ending successfully with mandatory vaccines or vaccinating most of the population. I just can't see it. So I don't know what it's going to take for it to crack. I don't know if it's going to be literally people walking into the parliament and giving Boris a slap, like, no, stop doing this. But it's not really Boris. It's like, it's the globalists working through Boris. But for some reason, somehow, some way, they have something on our government. The globalists have something over our government. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's brainwashing or collusion, or the government has just become too compromised. But we, the people, need to stand up and become strong in ourselves. We, the people, need to stand up and say no. And it seems like we're doing that, which is very, very inspiring. So many people have had enough. So many people are waking up. So many people are saying, no, fuck this. I'm not doing this anymore. And that is inspiring. So let's keep the fire of resistance burning. Let's keep the morale high. Let's love each other, because going through this winter, we're going to need each other more than ever. We're going to need to love each other. We're going to come together and organize. Yeah, because even, the people, the police and the military or whatever, because even the military is supposedly being threatened, but I think that's fucking hollow. Like, I don't think that will hold any merit. But these people are just, they are still people. So imagine if you had a community and everyone was quite well connected, and the police were, good guys, and everyone spoke to each other, and they were like, hey, are you going to enforce this? Do you think you should? And the police community go, nah, this is fucking stupid. And so then what can they do? What can they do? If you had a community, right, network, connected, awake, and smart, and not scared, then all of it could remain open, and there'd be fuck all that they could do. There'd be fuck all they could do. But this is the time, guys. Connect, organise. That's why they won't want people meeting up. Apparently in Scotland, you can't have people in your own home. I mean, if people really abide by that, it's insane. It's insane. And then they're like they're trying to get people to snitch on each other. If you are really going to snitch on your neighbour because they're having people around their house and the government said they can't, well, fuck. I mean, if there's enough of those people, fuck. Fuck. Hopefully there's not. I mean, we're not snitches, are we, UK? We're not. Nobody wants to be a snitch. Only brainwashed Matrix agents are snitches. But yeah, anyway, guys, just had to get that rant out there. And I will tune into the PM's broadcast, but I'm sure it'll just be a bit of a repeat of what happened. But I'll be sending the good vibes out. And I've been praying for you. I've been praying for this country. And I will continue to hold this country in my heart, in my thoughts, as we go through this. And I'm still confident. After all of this, we will come out of it strong. But we need to take action now. Okay, guys, that's all for today, and I'll see you next time.